Every now and then, I can't sleep. And this is the main reason, right? I have to always feel like I have accomplished something every day. I have to feel like I have improved something, that I have contributed something, that I have made something better, that I've fixed something, that I've maintained something, that I've built something, that I have had an effect, that I have caused something. And today it was a very rainy day. And every time the rain would die down, I think I got a second to do something work and it would start raining again. And there were some things I could do inside without the rain, but so this left a void in me. And anytime this happens, anytime it happens that I really can't get a lot done, the only thing I can think about when I lay down to go to sleep is all kinds of things that I could be doing. My imagination just starts to imagine. What is that? Is a dog on the back porch? Is a squirrel climbing down the stovepipe? What is that noise? But back to what I was saying. Anyway, if I don't feel like I've accomplished something or accomplished enough in a day, I can't sleep. I just lay down and I just start imagining I could be tomorrow I'll do this or I'll do that. And today the rain kept me from getting stuff done I wanted to get done. Tomorrow, though, it's only going to rain for a shorter bit of time in the beginning of the day. And there's going to be a 4 or 5 early hours where there's not going to be any rain. It's hot chocolate. Hot chocolate, or chocolate in general, chocolate has a lot more antioxidants than olive oil. And it promotes stem cell health. And so chocolate's very healthy. And chocolate is in danger. A lot of chocolate plants are having issues with different funguses and different stuff. And I think we really need to get on this right away. We don't need chocolate plants or bananas going extinct at all. So we need to fix that. One of the problems is that we are, after we keep propagating a certain plant by cuttings and not seeds, sometimes, nature isn't, we're not selecting for viable seeds, and eventually we don't have the seeds. And if we're not having male and female plants make seeds, we don't get new varieties. We get one variety on a plantation. They're just doing a clone off of a clone. And so when you don't have very much genetic diversity in a species of plant, once it has a certain weakness and it gets exploited, it can be really bad. So if we would have been growing more bananas with male and female plants, letting them make seeds and making more varieties, we would have had some varieties that were susceptible to funguses, but some that were resistant. And it's a danger that we've propagated by cuttings for so long that there's not as many variants of banana as there should be. And the ones we got are being devastated. The same thing's happening with chocolate. Hey, Douglas Save OE7FW. Why you got an angry reaction? What you mad about? What I said about bananas or chocolate? Or you think I was ignoring you? I just didn't notice the comments yet. I didn't have anybody watching, so I was just talking because I didn't want there to be like this long void of me not saying anything when I go to post it later. But the rain has kept me from getting enough done. And then I was just thinking about what I want to do tomorrow. And I couldn't sleep. And then I said, fine, I'll just go live for a little bit. Brittany's asleep. And I don't want to go to sleep yet. I saw this thing where they were grafting watermelons onto pumpkins and they were getting higher yields, but people didn't want to buy them because the watermelons tasted and smelled like pumpkin, but they were doubling the yield. And I don't want a watermelon that tastes like a pumpkin either. But I'm sure my chickens wouldn't care. I'm sure a lot of livestock wouldn't care. And so I can see a use for that. But this has got to be for people who do not have very much space, because if you've got you're halving your seeds. I mean, you could be growing both pumpkins and watermelons. So why are you going to, destroy half of the plant? I guess you could grow a watermelon plant and get a lot of cuttings off of it and have mostly pumpkin seeds, and you wouldn't need as many watermelons, but you're not getting the. Now, as far as the flavor, your flavor is going to taste like a pumpkin, but I could see some more value in this if you had one variety of watermelon and you wanted a lot of that variety. You could, and you didn't have that very many watermelon seeds. You could grow one plant, graft it on a whole bunch of different pumpkin plants sprouted from seeds, and the DNA of it is still going to be watermelon. It may have sap that's pumpkin, but you would still have watermelon flowers, watermelon pollen, and you'd get seed. You could wind up with a lot of watermelon seed that would grow watermelons later on, not influenced by the pumpkin sap. So I don't know. I didn't know that you could graft a watermelon onto a pumpkin, and I see there's some utility for it, but watermelons and pumpkins make a lot of seeds, so I don't see why you don't just grow both. They do take up a lot of space, though. I was going back and I was looking at my old lives, because I like to look at and see how much my plants have grown, because you don't notice it. Little by little they're growing. And I was like, wow, a lot of my trees are a good foot or 2 foot taller than they were back in that video. And just yesterday I was looking at a patch of trees and I was thinking about cutting them down to let the light in. And I was watching my old live, and in that live, it's the summertime and it's hot, and I'm enjoying the shade of those trees. And I say, every winter, I want to cut these trees out, but in the summer, I appreciate the shade. And I totally, I'm 38. I totally forgot that I'd ever said that I'd ever thought that. And it was good that I saw the video, because I'm like, oh yeah, that's why. Because this winter it's cold, and I was just. I was thinking about how the peaches on that side I was thinking about letting more light in by cutting them trees down. But then there's like 2 rows of trees. There's hardwoods, a strip of hardwoods on the border there of oaks. And then there's a strip of pine, I don't know, maybe 20 foot away. And that area in between is shady and cool. And when it's real hot in summer, this person is AI. He is not a real person. AI has become very realistic. Everyone be careful. Now, I'm very real. My name is Paul Dustin Browning. I was born in 1987 in Grady Hospital in Atlanta, but I always lived in Wheeler County. My dad was in the Air Force. His name is Jeffrey Clayton Browning. His daddy's William Clayton Browning. His daddy's Thomas Clayton Browning. His daddy's John Green Browning. And it's not a made-up name. Used to, you could go online and you could get the U.S. Census and you could just look up your family tree for free. You really could do that. And then they come out with, what was it called? They come out with 23andMe. They come out with one before that that's more known. I don't know why I'm drawing a blank right now. But there was all these different sites where they begin to buy up. Somehow, they were able to get the databases of the American government and Europe, all these records, and start selling people their family trees. And then you stopped being able to go look it up online for free. You started being behind all these paywalls where you got to pay all these fees and go to the courthouse and do all this stuff to get the information from the census. So used to, I could have just said, go look it up. I'm telling the truth. And now you got to pay for the information. What's up, brother? Somebody's claiming I'm AI and a made-up person. I actually have never used AI. None of my videos are AI. None of my videos are even edited. I just have an Android phone, and I film the stuff on my camera. I have a cheap Android phone. It doesn't even have, and I just film stuff, and I just post it straight up off my camera. Nothing is ever edited or censored or filtered or scripted. And maybe I should script some stuff and kind of plan before, but it's all pretty much I just wing it and freestyle it. When are you going to promote Chat GBT? Wait, I got a crack on my phone. Let me see. Yeah, GBT. I don't know what chat. What do you mean Chat GBT? What is Chat GBT? Let's see. They say, hey, um, I don't know what GBT is. I might would. I just don't know what it is. Hoorah, brother. Hoorah, hoorah. I don't know what it said. Hoorah, hoorah. What are we doing here today? Today, I'm just drinking hot chocolate to warm up, and I'm just going live out of just, I don't know. I just went live. Brittany's asleep. I don't want to go to sleep yet. I fell asleep, took a nap when it was raining. And then it's harder for me to go to sleep. And then I didn't feel like I accomplished enough today because the rain kept me from doing stuff. So my mind, every time I lay down and try to go to sleep, I just think about, oh, I should till up this side. I can make some rows here. What I'll plant in the spring. I really wish I could be building up the east side of the pond dam. Right, my mind is on like working. I have to do a lot of physical labor to go to sleep. I can't just have a regular day and go to sleep. It's never been easy for me to go. So I pretty much have to wear myself out to exhaustion to go to sleep. And I didn't want to be in the cold rain today, and I didn't really work that much today. And now it's just hard for me to sleep. What are we doing here today? I already read that one. Salute, salute. What's up, brother? What's up? I wonder why Jonathan Boo. Gosh, you. I wonder why they're saying that I'm AI and a made up person. It's pretty. Hey, I live in Wheeler County, Georgia, in Alamo. Like you could really come here and shake my hand. I'm not. I'm not AI. It's him, AI and a made up person. That'd be really crazy for somebody to. Why would someone invent me as a character? Like, what purpose would that serve? That I would be a made up AI person. I don't know. I'll make this up. I saw this program where you can download it, and I like they got these Sasquatch videos on YouTube and these videos where people are afraid to reveal their identity, so to protect themselves they use AI and they make a fake character or something like that. And there's wisdom in that. There's people that have said things on YouTube and people show up at their house trying to kill them. So I understand why people get behind a mask. I'm not downing anybody for doing it, but I actually don't do that. My name on my channel is my real name. The places I film are my property. The place that I'm at, I am at. And so because your hair is too perfect, is it? It's going great. They think I don't know. My hair's it's I don't know. It's like it's my hair is thick, like as far as density. There's a lot of hairs per square inch, and it's kind of stiff and coarse. And when it gets short, like let's say I shave my head real short, keep the hair real short, and I cut my hair. The little pieces of hair are really prickly. It's not a soft hair; it's a coarse hair, like a horse hair. I don't know what it's. I don't know. I guess from the. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I get it from the little bit of Native Americanness in me. Mostly European, mostly Scots Irish. I don't know. But I don't know why they'd say Isaiah. I'll change some things. If it was AI, if it was AI, I'd make this little patch grow in here. I'd put more hair right here. If I was just gonna design a fake AI character or something, I don't know. I'd spell things right. I wouldn't mispronounce anything. AI is getting better, but a lot of AI has that soulless cadence to it. You know, you hear it, it's just that's something that they haven't quite got right. At first, AI was so easy to tell it was AI, you know, like they got 7 fingers on one hand and 3 on another, and they're changing facial shape too much. And it started to get better to where it would fool me, and then I started to be able to see it because your brain starts to learn how to recognize it. And I really hate how much stuff is AI because there's some real stuff out there that I remember before AI. Like people would film some interesting creature in nature that was rare, and they started coming out with all these AI fakes where people would make up these Pokemon like fake animals and put them on YouTube, and people would believe they were real and it was AI. And then some of the more interesting creatures that are real, people wouldn't believe that they were real. They'd believe it was AI. And there was some real stuff from before there was any AI, and now people don't believe it. People don't know what to believe because there's so much fake AI stuff out there. But I don't have any editing software. Now, some of the stuff that in my lives, when I don't have good service, there's a lot of like digital corruption in the files. And so I notice like I'll film a fish and I'm watching the fish and the fish is just swimming normally. And then if I didn't have a lot of service, I go back and I watch the live. It looks like the fish is just stretching and jumping, and sometimes the whole screen will just what's the word? Depict is it? It'll just break up into bigger blocks of pixels, bigger pixels, and they'll scramble around and look all crazy. And I don't know what happened because I have the same phone service I've always had, but it seems like every year my service in Alamo just gets worse and worse. I don't know. Maybe there's more people with smartphones and more people like competing for signal, or they're building more stuff that's getting in the way. I don't know what. I don't know what's happening to hurt the signal. When are you going to promote? I already read that earlier. Let me write that down because you're asking me when I'm going to promote Chat GBT, and I don't know what that is, so I need to look that up and learn what that is. And then I got a message retracted. So I think I remember which one that was. I've seen a lot of videos on making like the old ways of making houses and boat, all kind of stuff, all kind of ancient primitive technologies, and there's so many useful plants that we just forgotten. All the stuff we could be, all the plastic stuff that we're paying money for. There's all kind of natural alternatives, or there's all kind of stuff we buy that we just don't need to buy. I mean, sometimes it's worth it to free up the time, but there's just so many things that we pay a lot of money for to buy because we have forgotten how to just go get it for free out of our backyard. I think they mean Chat GPT. So if you don't use a part of your brain or your body, it atrophies. And so when Rome began to become a very literate society and write everything down, they had some criticism from some of the tribes in Spain and the Scythians to where they said, you know, you are losing your ability to remember things. And the part of the brain that governs language and the part of the brain that governs memory are pretty close together. And as you can write things down, you don't have to remember everything because you can go back and, you know, the written word is your memory. You know, you can just, what did I say that day? You know, and the societies that didn't have that, they would commit a lot more to memory. They would make these rhyming epic poems to remember things, and they would encode a lot of information in mythology to remember things, and you know, like Vercingetorix and some other people, they were able to memorize. They were able to be told something once and remember it for a long period of time. But as we started writing everything down, there was a big benefit to that as a tool because we could share information across distance easier, and we could have the advantage of reading the thoughts of hundreds and hundreds of other people. And there was a big advantage to becoming illiterate, but we began to lose our memory. And it began to happen even more with the internet and Google. I mean, you can just easily reference everything. And so, but with chat, GB chat, I've never used chat. I've never used the AI chat, all that stuff or whatever. And I'm not downing it as a tool. It's got like with I say this a lot. There's not a lot of perfect solutions. There's trade offs for one benefit over here. You lose something over there. And I don't want to outsource my creativity to AI and have that part of myself atrophy. You know, I don't want to let AI do all the thinking for me, and then I lose the ability to think, and I have to lean upon it as a. But I mean, it can be an enhancer. You can enhance. I mean, there's just it's out of. I'm out of my depth there. I don't know. I've never really been too much into computers. Not had a lot of interest in it. I've been more interested in the natural world and the life science and biology and farming, hunting, being in the land and everything. And there are people who know a lot about computers and AI and all that kind of stuff, and I really don't. I'm not really all that, So there's like I have a friend and he uses AI all the time to help him write up all kind of stuff and whatever. And there's benefits in that, and there's saving time in that and everything. But I'm just old school in a lot of ways. I was born in 1987, and so I was born before the internet. I was born before cell phones. I remember when we had payphones and landlines, and then longer, stretchy cords, and then cordless, pagers, beepers, cell phones, all this. And when people would have the CDs, I'm still listening to the cassette tapes. When people have the smartphones, I'm still listening to the cassette tapes. Uh, I never had an iPod. People had iPods. People went, people went to. I didn't get a smartphone until I was like in my 30s or something. It come out when I was in high school. About the time I was graduating high school is when the smartphone come out. And I was still using Verizon throwaway flip phones for a long time. I was still on the Super Nintendo when everybody's on like the PlayStation 3 or whatever, I just so I'm just not there yet. I just got Cash App. Like I would have got it sooner if I knew you could buy stocks on there. But I'm not too interested in investing in the stock market right now. But I'm just saying I didn't want to go cashless, so I didn't want to incentivize going cashless. So I avoided Cash App till just very recently. You were 30 when you No, I wasn't 30 when I graduated high school. No, no, no. I'm saying that when I graduated high school, that's about the time that smartphones come out. But I didn't get one. And then I was like I was probably 30 before I got a smartphone. That's what I was saying. I might have misspoke. I don't know. Like a lot of times I'll go back and I'll replay my videos, and what I was thinking didn't come out my mouth. I don't know if I said it right. No, it might have been me. I might have said it wrong. I might have been thinking one thing, and my words come apart from my thinking to get out of sync. Yeah, like one time I was thinking, and my thoughts was just moving to the next topic, and I was talking about this bridge I'd built. I was talking about I had dug rocks from dirt, digging so many feet from another location on my property. But in the video, I didn't make that clear, so someone would think that where I'm at that bridge that I'm talking about, I dug 5 foot down in that spot, which I didn't. That was like a foot or two. But I dug the dirt 5 foot in another spot, sifted the dirt out to get the rocks, 5, 6 foot, something like that, and moved those rocks to that area. And in my mind, I had thought about it. I thought about all that. I had a memory and a mental picture of me going out and doing that, but I didn't say that clearly in the video. And I thought I had said it, and I didn't. And I go back and I'm watching my own video, and I'm like, dang it, it's looking like I'm lying right there. Somebody's going to think that I'm saying I dug 5 foot there. I was thinking about up on the hill where I dug. So I make mistakes like that all the time. But yeah, I'm slow to jump to the next piece of technology. And I don't really like to be inside. I like to be outside. I don't really like to be. I do. Look, I'm screen addicted. I get addicted. Once I finally got the smartphone, it sucked me in like everybody else. Once I finally got on Facebook, YouTube, whatever, eventually I got sucked into it all too. So sometimes I'm just get out my phone and check it for no reason, just because they hack into your brain with all the dopamine spikes with all the likes. It'll glitch up on purpose, I swear. Like I won't have any messages on Messenger, and I think Facebook's got it encoded in there to every now and then tell you got a message when you don't, so you'll check it. This confuses my brain. Voice says I ride horses. Face says I ride camels. I'll say my daddy is a Browning, and they come from Ireland, but they were Scottish. Which they weren't really Scottish. They were really English, I guess, and went to Scotland and then went to Ireland, And they come to America, and he marries a woman in New York that is German. And they move to Wheeler County. They go to Georgia because everybody, comes to New York first, but then they go to Georgia and they farm in Georgia for like 5 generations. And he married, and my daddy's daddy married a woman. Like my father's people, they were redheaded, white skin, redheaded. But he married a woman. My daddy's daddy married a woman that got a tan and had dark hair, and she was part of a Western type of Native American. And just she was mostly just white, but has some in there. And then on my mama's side of the family, my mama's daddy, her people were of German and Irish descent. And her mama's family was Irish, but her mama's daddy's side of the family was mixed Irish and Native American. So from both sides of my family, I get a little bit of German. From both sides of my family, I get Scots Irish. Not really like the Scots Irish are like Scottish people in Ireland that, they and there's a little bit of Native American from both sides of my family, but I'm overwhelmingly mostly, of the British type people, of the Scots, Irish, Celtic, yeah. That's why I got there is how longer. Well, sometimes when a lot of times I can't go to sleep unless Brittany's beside me. And sometimes she can't sleep if I'm not beside her, and she's in there sleeping, and she's going to sense that I'm not there. She's going to have a bad dream that I done or something, maybe, or maybe not, and wake up and come in here and want me to go to bed. And then I'm going to go to bed and get off the stream. Or she won't do that, and I might stream a long time. Or I might just get sleep. I don't know. I don't have a plan with it. If it gets to where, I can't stay up forever. And if Brittany gets to where it depends. It depends. But that's why I got this, I got a little bit of red here in my beard. And both of my parents have black hair. But both of my parents have a parent with black hair and a parent with red hair. My mama's daddy had some red hair. His sister had red hair, but her mama had black hair. Her mama's mama's got red hair, but the daddy's got black hair and all of my daddies it's the opposite. Like my daddy, his mama had black hair and his daddy had red hair. And then both of my parents had black hair, but they had the first four sons. You got black hair, red hair, black hair. And then I've got black hair, but I got red hair in my beard. And a few red hairs spread out here every now and then. Which I think a lot of the red hairs that were in my hair have done went white. Is the bowl to keep the cupboard shut? With the bowl up there, the bowl there. No, well, actually, they used to always stay shut. And Brittany has put that up there. And I don't know. I'll find out. I don't even know. I think they stay shut without it. Yeah, they stay shut without it. I guess she just hung it up there because she can reach it easier than if it's up there. And if it's up there, she gonna ask me to come get it down. And if it's there, she can reach it. I don't know. I used to know. Now I don't know none of that. Brittany knows where every single thing in the house is at because she probably put it there and organize. I make the messes and she cleans up and organizes things. I don't just make messes for the sake of making messes. I build things and do different projects and stuff. And in the storm of that, it makes a mess. And she's like I got this library in her mind of where every single thing is in the house. So if I need anything, when I go to make anything or do anything, she knows where everything's at and will get it right away. So I don't have to know where anything's at anymore. And I don't anymore. You know, I was single most of my life. I had a few short relationships here or there or whatever else, but mostly I was single most of my life and independent and done all my own stuff. But over time, slowly, it's like it's gotten to where Brittany does all that kind of stuff and I have lost, I don't know where nothing is anymore. I used to I would know where everything was, but I didn't remember where anything was. It's just like I was the last one that touched everything in the house. So even if it was in a mess, I just walked straight to whatever it was that I needed, whether it be a hammer or I just knew myself. I might not remember where I left the hammer, but I knew about what I would do and where I would put a hammer. I was like, well, let's see. Last time I used it, I was working over here, so it's probably over here. But now, if I go and build something and I leave a hammer somewhere near wherever I was working, Brittany's going to pick it up and she's going to go clean it up and organize it. And I'm not going to know where it's at. And I'm going to be like, where is a hammer at? I used to have 5 hammers. Can't find a hammer nowhere. And then I'll find a drawer and there's like 5 hammers in that drawer. I'll be like, where's a lighter at? There's a drawer there. All the lighters are there. And then me and Brittany will talk about it and then it'll be like, okay, keep lighters in the truck, on the table, in the room. So I got them in 3 places but like that, I don't know. Used to, I could have told you. Now I don't know. Brittany put it up there. I don't know why she put it up there. I probably so she could reach it. But no, it's not keeping the cabinets open. Now we both know. You stayed in Georgia for a while in Brunswick and Sands. Yeah. Yeah, we get that Brunswick stew. You eat any Brunswick stew? St. Simon's is a lot cleaner than Jekyll. Them sand gnats will get you in both places at night. Then I came back to England. My dad was stationed in England and he liked it. When he was in the Air Force, he was sent to England for 6 months. I didn't like it. I was in America, you know, and I didn't have my dad for half a year. I was in the 2nd grade and I was depressed. And they were like, why is he so quiet? Why is, you know? It's like, damn, like, you think I give a fuck about 2nd grade? You know, I'm in there like, we're going to teach you about whatever. Like, I was paying attention in 1st grade. 2nd grade, I just think about missing my dad for like half a year. Like, man, that sucks. He was in Korea for a year. When he moved to Texas, we went with him, but we didn't go with him to Korea and to England. But he went to I don't know if he went to England now. Like London, when he went to London, is way different than little bit. Just hush. You ain't gonna do nothing. Why you even barking? Whatever. That's none of your business. What's going on outside? Ain't got nothing to do with you. From Brazil. Let me scroll and see what I've missed. It's the Baltic. From Brazil. Brazil's a really cool place. I've never been there, but I mean the Amazon rainforest is very amazing. There's so much of a density of life there. And Brazil is wasn't easy to settle, like they had to do so much work to build the infrastructure there. And Brazil has a pretty I think I'm gonna go teach myself some more about Brazil. We used to eat them Brazil nuts, but the name that all my life, I saw a video, not a video, but a TV show when we were in Texas that was called, they had Where's Waldo? Then they had something called Carmen Sandiego or something like that. And they were talking about Brazil nuts. And I was like, I've never had a Brazil nut. I want to try a Brazil nut. What's that? And I didn't know I'd had them my whole life. We were just calling them something else. And my grandparents, everybody, you'd have them around Christmas time. And one day I learned, hey, there's another name for that. That is a Brazil nut. Whew. Probably only a very, very small percentage of people will know what I'm talking about. What's little? Yes, this is so. Sometimes it's almost nothing ever important. The dogs will bark, and I go out there, and there's a deer outside, or a raccoon, or a possum, or nothing that's a threat to me or Brittany. It's never like they think it's significant, but it's not. It's never even a pack of coyotes. It's never anything. It matters to them. They're like, possum, stay out of my territory, but it doesn't matter to me. And I'll go out there, and it's just a false alarm every time. And whenever they bark, little bit barks. But it could be way down, 2 doors down, a deer could walk in Lee's yard. Lee's dogs bark. Wanda's dogs assume that they're barking at them. They bark back. Then what's her name? Can't think of her name over there. Her dogs bark at their dogs. Then my dogs bark at their dogs. Then little bit starts barking. But if you open the door, let me show you. A little bit staying warm. And he'll be so warm. He gets so hot up under. This is a little bit. He ain't even come out from under the cover. He's just been under the cover barking. They're barking, so he's barking. And if you open the door, once he gets up there, all his courage goes away. He'll bark and bark, then run up there and realize he's squirrel-sized. He's a little bit bigger than squirrel-sized. He's maybe weasel-sized. Not quite otter-sized. Go back to sleep. Just go back to sleep. I love Little Bit. He's a mess, though. He's so spoiled. It's both me and Brittany's fault. Spoiled. That dog is spoiled. And Brittany spoils him way more than I do, though. He's not entitled to, he thinks that if you're eating anything, he should get a cut of it. He's like the tax man. And to a point, I always share with him to a point. But 90% of the food you give him, he's already full, and he goes and he hides it somewhere. And if you just sit here doing nothing and you pay attention, he will just go and move different pieces of hidden food. He'll switch hiding places and move them around. He's got food in his bowl. And it's really not good because he doesn't eat it all, and it'll draw mice and stuff. So if I give him a piece of food and he runs off and hides it, I ain't giving him nothing else. I know he's got. I done seen him pull a little piece of like Brittany give him a piece of a cheese stick and a chicken tender and a piece of a hamburger, and he's got food in his bowl, and he just yeah, he is. He is scamming. He'll always come up like, and then if I'm eating and he comes over here like barking, like demanding, I just feel like it's like he ain't gonna talk to me that way. Like I'm not gonna just give him food because he barks at me. But Brittany will. Brittany will give him a piece if she's eating, he's eating. And if you watch him, most of the time he's not even eating. He's going and he's hiding it somewhere. And if we let Dolly or Duke in the house, as soon as they are in the house and leave, he's gonna rehide all his food. He's got to rehide it, and he's not hungry for nothing. It's just like I guess it's instinct in his mind, But he's never missed a meal a day of his life. There's no sense in him hiding food. And who's he hiding it from? The people that give it to him. We're not going to take his food, but he's yeah, a little bit. It's like saving up for the winter or something. He's storing like a squirrel. Do you know that the male squirrels don't store food for winter? It's the female squirrels. The female squirrels go in and bury all the food. They're thinking, hey, winter's coming. I got to store up food and all. And the male squirrels, they just go around sniffing the ground, sniffing the buried acorns, chestnuts, walnuts, whatever, and digging it up and eating it. But they don't do any of the work. All year, the male squirrels, they fight. They'll bite each other's testicles off. They fight for breeding rights. They eat. And that's just all they're doing. They're just trying to breed and fight each other over territory and eat. But they don't do any storing for winter. It's all the female squirrels. Now, maybe there's some anomalies. Every now and then a hen will crow. Every now and then, a rooster will share food with another rooster and stuff. There might be a male squirrel somewhere in the world storing for the winter. But generally, they don't. It's the females doing all the storing of the food for the winter. But little bits over there storing food too. I mean, I guess, we know where our finances are, and we know that there's going to be food. But he don't. I guess he don't want to give all his trust that we'll have food every day. He's like, just in case, he's going to store up and save some food for later. I don't really want to get a cat, but I kind of want to get a cat to put around the chicken pen because just to keep rats out of the grain and keep rats from trying to get in the chicken pen for bedding or for whatever, but then another thing about cats is they'll try to kill the baby chickens too. I used to have 2 little dogs that would. Okay, so there's this video because I was going back and I was watching my old videos and I was saying like what videos got me subscribers, what videos trying to figure out like what made people unsubscribe, like I don't know. And I saw this video where someone said, get fucked. And I was watching the video, I'm like, why are they mad at me? And it's like, is it because I said that hen was hoeing up on that rooster? Is it? And I think it's because when I said get down, I told the dogs to get down off of me, And I petted them dogs. I was good to them dogs. Them dogs back then, things were good. And I fed them dogs steak. I did not hit them dogs in that video when I told that dog to get down. But let me give you some background information on what's going on in that video. That dog, Little Tay, had literally ate shit and had shit breath and jumped up and was trying to lick on me while I'm filming the chickens. And yeah, I told her to get down. But I petted them afterwards, and then I got the cloves and made her eat it. Because the cloves kill germs and funguses and the smell. A dog, not all, she just would eat the nastiest stuff and have stink breath. So I'd put that clove in her mouth instantly. The bad breath is gone. But I'm just not. I don't care if the dog brushed his teeth every day. I just don't let dogs lick me in the face. I don't want them licking my hand. I don't want dogs licking me. I don't want. I gotta wash my hands before I can eat again. I'll pet them when I want to pet them. Then I can go wash my hands. But I just don't. I don't think it's abuse. I don't let dogs jump up and lick me all over the face. I just don't. I'm not going to, not even to keep the viewers happy. I don't want dogs spit on my face. And some people will say they have less germs in their mouth than people. Well, it's different kinds of germs too, you know? There's beneficial and non-beneficial bacteria. Most dogs don't have this germ in their mouth, but there is a type of bacteria that can live in a dog's saliva that can cause a flesh-eating disease that'll make your flesh eat off of your body. It's very rare. It almost never happens, but it can happen. And I'm just not letting dogs lick me in the mouth. And also, I got authority over them. I mean, I feed them and carry them and take care of them and provide everything for them. If I tell a dog to get down off of me, he can get down off of me. I let the dogs be in my lap and pet them I love them dogs. People who knew them dogs and knew me about my dogs, El Chapo and Little Tay and all that. They know how close I was to those dogs and how good and spoiled them dogs had it. But I wonder if maybe they thought, because I said get down in that video, they thought I was being mean to that dog, but no, she has some very stinky breath. She done got into something nasty and ate it, and I ain't gonna let her jump up and lick me in the face. It's just not gonna happen. I miss them dogs. They were good dogs. I raised them to be chicken shepherds. Even though they're that small, they were 1/4 German Shepherd. They were 50% Chihuahua and 25% Dachshund. And a lot of times, Dachshunds have a high prey drive, and so a lot of times they'll kill chickens. You know, they were made to be hunting dogs, go in tunnels, kill weasels and stuff. But they weren't that way. That 25% German Shepherd in them made a big difference, and they were small. They were bred down small, and they would protect the chickens when the chickens were free ranged. They would never hurt a chicken, not even if they ate out of their bowl. And if cats got after the biddies, they would protect the flock from the cats. They got along with the cat unless it tried to mess with the biddies. Now, they didn't get along with foreign cats that they didn't know. Like my brother's cats, they were cool with, but if a different cat tried to come on the property, they'd chase it off. And, the neighbors, not the neighbors I have now, but the people who used to live there, that woman, she was blind and deaf, and she was married to a former child molester. The man had went to jail for 20 years. He had molested his daughter, stepdaughter, and their blind deaf friend, who, when he got out of prison 20 years later, she married him. And this woman had like a compulsion to hoard animals. She had like 8 or 9 different cages on her porch full of animals. She had animals in the house. She would just take them captive and fill her house up with animals. Every cat, every dog, every stray. And she would steal my dog's puppies, and I'd have to go over there and get them back. She'd come in the yard and take the dog's puppies. So little Tay and El Chapo, they were going into the neighbor's yard because their puppies were in there. And some dog tried to breed with Little Tay, and El Chapo got in a fight with him, and the cops come out there and killed my dog and told me my dog was a troublemaker. I never called the police in my life. I just took care of stuff myself. I didn't, I'm not one of them people to go be a tattletale and run to the police about everything. But after the 4th or 5th time of having to go over there and get my puppies back that she kept stealing, I was like, dang, I'm on the call the police. I called the police. They said, we'll send someone out there. They never did. It happened again. I went over there and got him back. It happened again. And then one day, the Wheeler County Sheriff, they knocked on my door to tell me my dog was a troublemaker and they had to shoot it. So they're sorry like that. They're lazy as fuck. They don't want to do anything worth a fuck. And they're just sucking out them tax dollars. And they're never there when you need them. They're just there after the fact. They're really just there to raise money for the city. Every now and then we get a good cop. A lot of people worship them, especially cowards, but most of them are sorry as fuck. They really are terrible people. A lot of sociopaths are attracted to that type of work. And ain't it really crazy that like a dog can be a cop? Don't know a single law, you know, but a dog can be a cop. That's how low the bar is. And I don't mean to talk bad about dogs saying that, but I mean, it's true. Oh man. Can't believe they kept saying we'll send something. They never come out here about it, never. And then when they come out there to tell me that, I'm telling the cop, I'm like, look, he felt guilty when I was telling him about what happened. Like, I tried to call you out. You know why my dogs was over there in the first place? All that could have been avoided. And they didn't care about me. They just, but if the police come out there one time and it's like, look, you can't be stealing their puppies, quit going in their yard. This woman was trespassing, had no trespassing sign up. She can see, but she's legally blind and deaf. And then she says she done got attached to it, named it Peanut. You can't just come in my yard and stuff. My phone died, and I got it on the charger, and I got it to come back on. And when I was coming in and I opened the door, I bumped my nose on the door. It said, ow, and woke Brittany up. And now she's never eating. But it is 12:20 something. I'm about to get off this live and go blow my nose and go to sleep. I'm probably not going to go to sleep. I'm probably going to drink a little more coffee. Try to wind down. Try to go to sleep. But, sorry I just unexpectedly cut off of there. And I'm getting too worked up about the police. Like, it's over and done with, But every time I think about it, I get mad about El Chapo getting killed. Lil Tay used to go. She didn't know that he got killed, and they dug a hole and buried him over there. And it's so sad because they were together. They had litters together, and she would go out to the edge of the garden, and she would just look. Because sometimes they go in the woods and hang out, and she would just wait for him to come back every day. And it was sad. And I miss my dogs. I love Brittany's dog. Really, all these dogs are Brittany's dogs. Duke and Dolly and Little Bit. I've had a lot of dogs over my life, over the course of my life. Had some really good dogs. I had a dog that I used to fish with. I taught it how to fish and monkey. If I was fishing with a cane pole, and the fish come off the pole and was flopping on the bank, he'd go run up and she would go put her paw on it and hold it so it couldn't get back in the water. And we'd bake them fish in butter and eat them. And she knew the deal. She knew she was going to get some fish. But I'm about to go hang out with Brittany a little while and go to bed. Y'all have a good night. Thank y'all, my subscribers. Hit 300.